We are live. We are direct. She leads, she sells with Carol Mortarotti, who is an expert who helps women to create consistent revenue by really providing the inner wiring to create the aligned business. She is a believer that everything that is seen in the external world is really a reflection of the internal work. So she will work with entrepreneurs and experts who have been through a bereavement, divorce, or a business partner breakdown, or any other self-worth issues, imposter syndromes. She is able to get to the root and really reframe and rewire to reboot all the way from New York.
Yeah.
Carol, welcome.
Thank you, Jay. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm excited to have our conversation.
No worries. Tell me a little bit about who you work with. How much money are they making? Are they based in the States? What sort of situation do they find themselves in?
Yeah, well, the great thing is since COVID, pretty much everything I do is virtual. So my clients are mostly from the US, Canada, England, English speaking countries makes it a little bit easier. And it's you can do it at any time that's convenient for either of you. And what else did you ask? I'm sorry. I'm trying
Yeah.
to
So are
get
they
it.
six figure entrepreneurs,
I would
seven
s
figure?
I
Like,
would say they're, 6 figures or under, and, like, they're kind of on the cusp of that breaking point, but there's something that's holding them back, and they can't figure it out. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs think that, well, maybe their strategy isn't working, or they need a new funnel, and they just keep, like, buying another course or working with another coach, but none of that's gonna work until you find what the inner block is.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Tell me your process to finding the inner blockers. Like, what do you do to find what is blocking someone?
Well, in the initial, meeting, I can pretty easily assess, like, what's holding them back and, finding out a little bit more about their life and their business, find out where the block, stems from, like, get to the root of it. And then once we clear all of that energy and everything, then we really look into their new identity, like who they are now that they've cleared that. And then we go and take a look at their offer and see if it's really clear because a lot of times the offer isn't clear. And then when it's not clear, people don't buy. So then we look at the offer. And once we get all that ready, and work through all of that, usually the strategies that they have in place will then work because they're showing up differently. Their energy is different. They're showing up with confidence now that they are really clear on their offer and they don't have that block anymore. So you don't really have to add a new strategy. Pretty much what they're doing before works.
No, that makes complete sense. Tell me, how do you sell? Because I think a block I often meet when I speak with coaches, I don't like selling sales. I don't want to be salesy ultimately. And lots of people might not lean into sales. How do you lean into sales in order to enroll your prospects?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like sales. There's a few reasons. I think it's important to rehearse your like a sales script, but not necessarily like that you have to follow and sound like a robot, but really know all of the benefits that somebody is going to get. And I don't view it as a sale. I view it as I'm helping somebody. Like I have the goods that can help somebody release their block and then go on and make more sales. So that's really a service I'm providing. And then when you look at it like that, like you're helping others, not looking as like a sleazy sale, then I think that kind of shifts your thought process on when you're on the call. But it's really asking the right right questions, and again, I think in the beginning, especially, it's important to rehearse that. You can practice with some other coaches or with family members because the more you do it, the more confident you sound when you're asking the questions and going over like what you have to offer. That really does make a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I like the way you stated that you have to be well versed, and because people are buying energy
Mhm.
ultimately.
Absolutely. Yep.
And if your frequency is fear, then people are gonna equate, okay, this person hasn't got much conviction in terms of what they do. So they're not certain, there's not the conviction, there's not the confidence there. And so people might make their excuses.
It's very true because 'cause they're not buying truly what you have. I mean, they are buying what you have to offer, but they're really buying into you. Like, is this the coach that's going to be able to take me from point A to point B? You know, and if you're sounding a little like insecure about all the benefits, and they don't care if you meet 1 time a week, 2 times a week, they really care about like, so what's my end result going to be? What am I going to get out of this? And that's what you have to focus on the call about. And if they feel like you're wishy-washy or you don't have the confidence that you can give that to them, then they'll go with somebody else.
Thanks for sharing that. Let me know what's your big goal for 2026. What would you like to come true for yourself?
Oh, I want to be able to have some, um, sessions like in London. I'd like to have a few others and maybe in Paris. I love to travel, like traveling's my favorite thing to do. So if I can go to major cities where this is really needed, that would be like a win-win situation. So having events and also turning my one-on-one into like some type of a group program so I can serve more people because there's only so many hours in the week, so, really wanna build up my group program.
No, that makes complete sense. I did a event in San Diego last year,
How was that?
and yeah, so I think it's good to travel
Mhm.
and add value and really lean into your magic.
And I think
Tell
since
me,
COVID too, sorry to interrupt, but I think since COVID, like, people really wanna be in person, like, they wanna be surrounded by other, people that, want to grow in that area as well and just get that, like, human interaction, not it's great to have virtual when you can't always be there, but there's something to be said for going to a live event.
no, that makes complete sense. Tell me, currently I'm reading this book. It's on energy leadership
Mm, I love
and
that.
yeah, and the power of energy. And it really leans into people can feel the energy. And from that book, I drew inspiration to create my four energetic characters. Fearful Fiona, who is just looking at the worst case scenarios. Servant Susie, someone they're doing,
Mhm,
but they're not being. And then joyful Juliet, who has found the thing that they're doing that makes their life a real carnival. And so there's a difference between serving and
mhm,
being joyful, and then finally limitless Lara, because limitless
mhm.
Lara finds all of the things. What book are you reading, and what insight have you drawn from it?
Well, one of the first books I read years ago was, The 4 Hour Work Week, and I was really intrigued by that because, that was my goal was like, I don't wanna work 60 hours a week. And then now I'm rereading Think and Grow Rich.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and I think the more you read it, the more you get out of it. But I love the, leading by energy because it's like if somebody wakes up and they're in a bad mood and then they have an argument with somebody, it's like they're going out in their day and maybe they'll like spill their coffee on themselves or get something and when they get home they realize not everything's in the package that should be versus like I wake up and I always say like a gratitude prayer. I think of 3 things I'm grateful for. I set the intentions for the day. And when you go out and your energy is just, like, flowing and confident and, it's like you go to Starbucks and all of a sudden they give you a large instead of a small, like, all these things happen to you throughout the day for you to, feel more grateful for, and it's definitely because of the energy that you're exuding.
100%. One of my favorite quotes, frequency equals reality.
Mm, yep,
Ultimately, this is it, right? And so if you're vibrating at the lower levels of frequency, fear, anger, in terms of that's going to be your reality. Where if you're vibrating at the higher levels of frequency, joy,
mhm,
unconditional love,
yep, and
love,
money.
yeah,
Money.
yeah.
Money doesn't know hustle or hard work. Money knows the frequency, so it's all, like, tied together. Your life can change if you change your frequency and then, it doesn't happen overnight. People think, "Oh, it's easy for you to do," and it's like, well, it's a choice that I make every day to live a life of, like, high energy frequency, and anyone can do it. You just have to just make it a habit, change your habits.
What's your
So,
mission? What's your mission and what's your vision? Like, why are you doing what you want? Why are you doing what you're doing?
well, the main reason I got into it was, I lost a loved one to suicide, and that's what got me
So,
into
yeah.
this. Thank you, and that's, the most difficult thing I've ever had to go through, and along my healing journey, I became, like, a certified Greek coach, and then I got several years of, like, energy healing, and so my mission is twofold. I don't wanna see others because I also help people that have lost someone, to suicide, and so I don't wanna see anyone in pain that doesn't need to be in pain, and also, help other female entrepreneurs reach their true potential.
That makes complete sense. What's stopping female entrepreneurs from reaching their potential, have you found?
Men are very good at sales. Like, they don't overthink it. It's just in their DNA, and women, I don't think it takes work to become that way because they let the, like, "Oh, well, what if my competitor's better? What if I don't sound good enough? What if they're not gonna buy," like, they let all their inner conscious, like, start bringing them down and create the fear. So it's just I think it's really changing your inner language, but they don't have that same confidence and belief, it's more complicated for them to get to that level.
Why is that?
Does that make
Why?
sense,
Yeah.
Uh,
No, no, it does make sense. Let's unpack that a little bit.
Mhm.
Why? Why is it that there's that inner chatter more so than it is for men? Is it the way w- women have been socialized, or like how's it worked out? Gender roles, or yeah.
I think women are just naturally more, nurturing, and we wear multiple hats. And I mean, I don't mean to generalize like all men, but like men, their mission is they go to work, they make money. And it's like there's really nothing that's going to get in their way? And women are like, oh, I have to go food shopping, I have to do the laundry, I have to take care of the kids, I have to do this. And so, like, they don't make the priority the same as a man because, like, there's nothing that gets in their way, and they might even fit in working out in the day as well. Like, everything is a top priority, whereas I think a lot of women are juggling many priorities. So maybe they want it to be a top priority, but it gets knocked down sometimes, like certain days. And then that can turn into weeks and they haven't achieved their goals that they want. So it's really learning to put their priorities first. And that doesn't mean you neglect your kids or anything. I think it's really good for kids too to learn, like, mom has to focus on this. She needs an hour. Want to let go do something that you like to do for an hour. Now, of course, if you have a baby, you can't do that. But Yeah, I think it's just a difference of priorities.
Very good answer.
Yeah. You
Very
know, we we
thoughtful
we
answer
wear
there.
like 10 different hats usually, even if you're not married with kids. It's like, I don't know, we're just nurturing and it's I think the younger generation though is learning to get better. They're learning to be better at this and they're more into like the lifestyle and and the work balance a lot better. You know, they're prioritizing um their freedom, like, they don't wanna work as long, hours as we used to because they really value, like, having some time to themselves to go work out or go travel or do something. So, hopefully, that'll get better as time goes on.
That's well put there. Tell me what you think the role of leadership is in business, like how you apply it, and yeah, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership is, t means to me, it's you have to be very confident, but you also need to learn how to deal and manage, other all different types of personalities, and it's like to have some compassion if somebody's going through something and be able to take them from where they are to the next level and doing it in a style that really works for others, because there you can be a leader, but if you're not effective, then that doesn't mean you're a good leader. So it's finding a way to like take the group of people that you're working with and get them to the next level. And sometimes that's trial and error. It's not always one way, one system that's going to get them there.
Brilliant. Thanks for laying that out. Let us know, who are you looking to connect with and how can they get in contact with you, Carol?
Well, all of my social media is Carol Mortarotti. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok. I'd love to connect with other female entrepreneurs that are looking to take their income to the next level. And if anyone's looking for a speaker in London, to let me know as well.
Amazing. Thank you for hopping on today,
But
Carol.
yeah.
Definitely, I can tell that you're a world-class coach, the way you lay things out so simply.
Well, thank you, Jay. It's been a real pleasure. I hope to come back again.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carol. She leads, she sells with Carol Mortarotti. Amazing. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Wow. Love that, Carol.